Fine. This fine. This was a million times worse.
Oh, hey everyone. I guess waiting for some people to get on. Be honest, I missed the last couple of meetings, so I'll wait for if Derek joins to kind of catch up on what the work stream's been on. I don't know, Megan, you'd reached out on this. Was this the first meeting you'd been able to make, or did you make the one last week or 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, I've been at the last two.
Okay.
Um, and they both were kind of similar, just going over the outline of the paper and then having people, sign up for sections that they want to help with, and just giving updates on like the status and there's a lot of introductions, but that's pretty much all that's happened in the last two
Okay.
meetings.
Yeah, because I think that's the big push. I was at Ash for gosh, it's been 2 weeks ago, and there's definitely a big push on water usage metrics, not just from Green Grid. They just released another one, but IAPMO, I think they're pushing now on one. So it's definitely becoming something we need to push a little harder on the paper and stuff, I guess.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That was one thing I wanted to bring up today was that we've been working on efforts from governors in states that want to create water and rate standards for data center sightings. So we've been working on responses in Pennsylvania to like how the governor will set up this kind of standard. And they're either going to, go with like the standard WEUE and set a limit for data centers through that, or like if we can get something published soon that we can like cite in these kind of responses for WE plus, like that would be extremely helpful so that we have something to cite when we're doing these responses for these local officials to not just use the WE plus or not just to use the WE and push for WE plus. So I agree that it's kind of it'd be helpful to get something on that published as soon as possible.
'Cause I think the closest one that's published right now is the green grid metric. I don't know if you've seen that paper.
I haven't. I don't. I poked around on their website for a bit, but it seems like you have to be a member. And then I reached out to them and never heard back.
Oh,
So
it's like a free membership. You just give them your email and then it's one of those deals. You just give them your email and then you can download it. I'll send you, I'll send that paper to the group.
yeah, that would be great.
I think another thing that might be good is to kind of just map out all the different organizations working on water usage metrics right now to kind of understand that.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point.
Oh, here we go. I assume I can put it in the chat. Try that. Okay, so I just put the white paper in the chat if you have access to that.
Yes. Okay, I'll give that a look today. Thank you.
So is that kind of the
Another,
most comprehensive one that's available at the moment?
I would say so, yes, because they take into, and then they even have like an Excel tool that you
Mm-hmm.
can use with it. So it goes into four different levels. Okay,
Yeah.
then they just released another white paper. Let me download the newest one too.
Just for reference, in the Alliance for Water Efficiency primer that we're putting together for water utilities as the main audience, we've referenced the metrics, but we don't say, this is required or this is kind of the gold standard because I couldn't find anything that indicated that there's like one specific metric that's broadly required. There are a lot of options, it seems like, but not a ton of requirements at this point. Does that sound correct?
Right. It's kind of, there's not one organization yet that's really um taken any standard metric. Like it's not like we know like a PUE equation is pretty standard across the industry, but there's no standard more detailed WUE equation other than the traditional one that doesn't really focus on localities. I would say the green grid is about as is kind of the direction to
Mm-hmm.
hope we get towards, but there's no consensus on that. Oh, hey, this is the final version. This is what everybody's going to use. But it does kind of give a framework of, hey, this is what a better metric looks like.
Yeah.
What does the green grid use for like the electricity or yeah, the water consumption by electricity? Do you know? Do they use the WRI?
I believe so. They use so let me just
Oh, here,
share
water
this
intensity
screen.
factors. Oh, they use NREL. Okay, so yeah, their water consumption factors for power production haven't been updated since 2003.
Yeah, and that's kind of why I said it's a good guideline, but the water usage factors at power plants, I did not know if there's more up-to-date data on that at this point. Because even on the ASHRAE committee, we were struggling with that because we're trying to do the same thing, and the NREL data is really all we've been able to find.
WRI published guidance for calculating water use embedded in purchased electricity. It's from 2020, so it's still like outdated. Um, I'll link that in the chat. That's what we've been using.
Okay.
Um, but but I think it would be good to start a like a workflow on liaisoning with the WRI and trying to, ask them what their plans are for updating or with NREL or any other groups that have done this type of analysis on like if they're planning on updating their work and when that's going to happen.
That's a good idea. Okay, I see the World Resource Institute. Embedded water use in purchased electricity. This is a good paper.
Yeah, and it has them listed by eGrid subregion, which is nice. You can get regional water data, and it has international numbers as well. But again, it's from 2020.
I had not. That is a good paper. So I think aside from the oh, hey, there's Derek.
Yeah, hi. I'm so sorry about that. I'm on short today as well.
Oh no, you're fine. I think we were just kind of discussing. So aside from we're trying to do the Wikipedia encyclopedia thing, but we were just discussing, I think, and I can focus on this one. I think we kind of need to just consolidate and understand all the different water metrics going on because I was telling them I was at ASHRAE, the committee meetings a couple weeks
mhm.
ago, and it's become a big talking point from several different organizations. So trying to understand how many different organizations are trying to work on this right now, because I think that was kind of our fear from the beginning of this work group is there's going to be like 20 different water usage efficiency calculators out there.
So are you thinking like appendix kind of who's doing what?
Yes, I think so. At least try to map out who's pursuing it and from which different angle.
Yeah, because I also know that the ISO standard is going through an update too. Um, there's a WUE ISO standard that's currently, I think it's in draft form right now. It's under development. So that's something else that we should probably track
This is
each one.
for ISO, which
Um, ISO,
50,001, like energy
it's
focus, or
replacing
is it water one?
30134. So it's specifically for WUE
Mm.
in data centers. I will link that as well.
You said 30134.
I just sent a link.
Oh, I see it. ISO 2016.
It will replace 30134.
Got it. So I gotta jump for I'm going on for 15 minutes. There was just last time there was some talk about reformatting to fit OCP standards and having some dates around things since we're just I haven't had time to push anything forward. So I'll tackle the reformatting of our master document to kind of fit OCP standards. So just task me as needed. And then we'll put some due dates on stuff as well.
Yeah, I think that's the other.
We're
Like
just
I
getting
said,
pinged on, yeah, kind of move stuff, guys, because we're still talking about interesting things, but we're not getting as much on paper. And
no,
that's
I
partially
agree with
me.
that.
Not
And
fully.
yeah, no, it's been a busy beginning of the year. So like I said, I missed the first couple of
Yeah.
meetings.
Yeah, it's been crazy busy for me right now. We got a couple big things launching. But yeah, I'll do the formatting so we can get something, and then I can go through it again and make sure before next meeting. Yeah, I'll commit as much as I can commit. So I don't want to deviate this great conversation. Keep going.
And then in terms of, I guess, like that deadline and everything, do we need to target like April, May, like at least get a first draft of this?
What are you comfortable with?
Oh, gosh.
I know that's where I'm
It's
like,
it's
really
hard to
hard to
I
commit
would
to time.
I would say May.
Okay.
That gives me some time at least to start working on the appendix, or at least kind of mapping these out. And then if you could send me a link to where we're storing it too.
To Michael. Yeah, I'll do that. And then a target link to Michael. Yeah, I'll do that and make sure. And then, yeah, I do need to touch base with OCP, a little bit of just organizational stuff too. But anyway, so yeah, sorry, Megan. Didn't mean to
Oh,
throw
that's all
shiny
I have.
things for people to
No,
talk about not related or side. I didn't mean to deviate the conversation. Yeah.
no, that's okay. That was all I wanted to bring up today. So,
So I've got your WRI and the ISO. I'll look up.
okay.
Um, Others that you're aware of, Megan?
I think that's all. Yeah. I haven't looked at the green grid one, so I'll take a look at that today.
I may not have access to that. Can someone share it? I went to try to go into my Green Grid account, and I don't know if it was updated or if I'm one of the users. You may have
I
a
just
PDF.
attached the PDF in the chat.
I don't see it yet.
Oh, maybe since you joined, let me
I see
attach it again.
Megan. I see her ISO she just posted because she's wonderfully diligent.
Here, it might be since you see if you can
There
see
it
it
is.
now.
Got it.
Yeah,
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
yeah. Unfortunately, Zoom chat isn't persistent. It's only once you join.
Okay, that makes sense. So it doesn't, you can only see it once you've joined.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, Russ, hey, you're on. Are we, yeah, can we just talk about briefly? So, I'm new to the whole OCP. We're looking at the formatting of some of the other OCP sustainability reports that are out there. Is there anything we should be thinking about in terms of formatting, final
There's re-
doc? Go ahead.
there's only one template for this type of contribution, and it's just labeled document. It's used for the white papers, for the guidelines, etc.
Can you
Um,
drop the template or a link to it in the
yeah,
chat?
no problem.
Thanks. I had a note to like contact Russ and it got buried. Oh, thanks, Joanna.
Yeah, I had not been aware of this particular standard, and it's not specific to data centers. But on a recent webinar, a representative of Apple was a presenter, and she mentioned that they've used this standard. So I don't know if anyone's familiar with it, and I'm not sure what the specifics are there, but it is apparently something that they are pursuing.
That is a good one too. Launch version 3.0.
I guess we should probably look at the other big hyperscalers too. I think Microsoft might have some, but probably not a standard. Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
So many out there. Is it like this on the power side too? Are there this many different power? Like, or is everybody just like, oh, we're doing PUE?
I think it's PUE now outside the academic research community. But that took a while to get there, right? People were part of that ride, weren't they? Or people,
Yeah.
again, Russ, you were part of that. I assume OCP was part of that, but that took a while to get there. Okay, so table of these standards. And there's the template. Thanks, Russ.
Yeah, it even looks like for example, Anthropic um recently announced that they're planning on covering 100% of ratepayer increases and in addition to that, reducing water impacts. And they're planning on releasing like a responsible data center um like policy or something like that.
Yeah, they
So
just hired for a position, Anthropic, I saw. So
so
yeah,
I
do
don't
we
know what
want to
they'll
look
use.
at the big, do we want to task somebody with reviewing all the big LLMs if they have anything, and then hyperscalers, like systematically,
What standards people are running towards?
if they have any, if they have a policy statement. I'm just thinking a table like all the big LLMs that have something they have policy around embedded water use, AWS, Google, Meta as a table.
That is a good idea. Some of the bigger users, essentially, to start with.
The movers and shakers, yeah, which would be what our 5 or 6 hyperscalers, LLMs. That's probably it. I mean, right now we're hearing about the AWS standard, but I'm wondering, and again, I know I know there's not, I don't think there's a Google standard, but I know they
Oh,
have a
it's
policy.
not AWS. It's the
Oh, the
what's it
American Water
called?
Society.
Yeah, American Water Society.
Oh, thank you. I'm an idiot. Thank you. Yeah,
Are you
Caught
talking
that
about
too. I
the
was like,
link in the
oh,
chat?
yeah. I'm flipping through links really fast. Yeah,
Yeah, it's the Alliance for Water uh,
sustainability,
stewardship.
Stewardship. Alliance
stewardship.
for Water Stewardship.
Okay.
Yeah, I was really confused too. At first, they kept talking about AWS standard, but it was Apple, and I was like, "What are they talking about?" And then I realized.
Love
Um,
it. Okay.
and I think they're based abroad. I don't think they're based in the US, but it's like a global type of standard, I guess.
Looks like they're Scottish. So you think, are they a private organization that's kind of building up a business model around standard certification, do you think?
I think
They're
so.
not like
Um,
a WRI, that World Resources, that kind of does it. That's their day job. Because I haven't heard of them. I know the Water World, and I haven't heard of them before.
yeah, it looks like they're member based, so they could be a nonprofit. But then they have this specific standard. It says they were established in 2009 by leading water organizations, including the UN, international NGOs, and research institutes in response to the global water challenge. So,
Okay. So
yeah.
anyway, drop my idea. I table yes, hyperscalers no, unless we think their policy is of interest. So we'll just do
Yeah, I
standards,
think we'll
emerging
just do
standards.
standards. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
No, you're good. It is confusing to hear.
I gotta jump in a couple minutes to another meeting. Purchase electricity. Other short term, how to nudge us forward ideas before I jump, and I'll leave you guys on.
No, I think that covered it, and I actually have to jump as well here pretty soon. But I think those are good starting. I mean, does everybody on here have access? They kind of know the Wikipedia and everything going on with it.
You're talking about the Google Doc?
Yes, yes, the Google Doc.
Yes, I have access to it. I will admit I have not really fleshed out my section yet. My apologies.
Not
How dare
really.
you?
I know. Well, I
Everybody,
have been working on our water utility focus primer, which I think I've mentioned before. And we are actually next week going to be preparing to send it out to external reviewers. So if anybody is interested in reviewing from the data center perspective, please let me know. It's meant to provide like the basics kind of for a water provider or water utility to understand generally how water's used, um, to provide very basic benchmarks and then recommendations for having meaningful engagement. And honestly, I think having perspective from the other side could be helpful. So if anybody is interested in reviewing that document, we'll be sending it out next week to those who are interested. So,
I will volunteer to do that.
okay.
I
I
know some people from ASHRAE that would probably be interested in reviewing it as well.
Okay. Would you mind sending me some contacts?
Yes, I can.
Thank you.
okay.
And
Thanks, all.
Derek,
Got it.
I don't know if I have your email address.
Oh, here, let me drop it in the thing here.
Yep.
Okay,
You can, yeah,
thank
you
you.
can send it to me and then I will add them.
And we do have a
Okay.
master list somewhere of emails I put together for exactly this, but I don't know if I shared it well. But there you go in the
Thank
chat.
you.
Okay, need to jump. Thanks, all.
I do as well. But yeah, I think so I'm gonna start following up on some of those different organizations and then I think keep working towards the Google Doc and the different sections. Yeah, if you have any questions or anything, feel free to reach out.
I think one thing that might be helpful in a table setting, there may not be any examples of this, but if you're aware of a standard or a metric, and you're aware of somewhere or some context where it's required in a certain way, that might be helpful to know. I know from the
Mm.
regulatory side, folks are, policymakers are trying to think about how to integrate this into policy. And I had heard some examples where they were thinking, well, we'll just like require them to install certain technologies. And I was like, I feel like that's not going to be the most effective way. I think if you're able to pin something to a standard that's more accepted in the field, that makes more sense. And if there are examples of that, I think that could be valuable to know.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think that goes back to, yeah, I need to start digging through all the different orgs and standards that are out there because it's a new person like every ASHRAE convention coming out and trying to collaborate. So we need to, I think they're out there. I think we just need to track them down. Thank you everybody for the time. I'm gonna hop off now, but like I said, I'll follow up on some of these standards and try to have it summarized a little better by the next meeting.
Sounds good.
All right, thanks
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you.